I trade spot and futures on BYDFi, and if you want to set up an account now, send me a message once you've created your account with your username and UID on Telegram, and I'll put you into a randomly selected prize draw. I've got $10, $20 and $50 gift cards to give out, which basically go against your trading fees, giving you free trading fees basically until the gift cards run out. BYDFi. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's get an early start today then. So I was saying on the Patreon live stream last night about the risk to reward factor. I've been talking about this, it's nothing new, it's nothing exclusive to Patreon, it's something I've been talking for a little while. Obviously the $48,000 zone on Bitcoin being particularly toppy vibe really. We've got a major peak at 92 on the money flow index on the weekly. It's obviously not the highest it's ever been, but if we could maybe even go a little higher on this one, it might cause a pop. If we close a little lower with a higher high on price action, it would be bearish divergence. Both of those do signal, further downside, to be honest with you. Maybe a longer, sort of potentially longer lasting, deeper correction than we've seen in a while, because let's face it, we've been spoiled this year. But people complain. I don't know how they do it, but they do. People complain, oh, Bitcoin has only doubled in price. Well, it's done more than that. I'm not saying that anyone actually bought the bottom. We were quite close to buying the bottom, but from the bottom to the peak, it's 180%. And look, I mean, I have to put it out there. This is not the only thing that's done that sort of move. Yeah, something like Meta has also done a very awesome move this year, and I have certainly been enjoying this one. This has probably been the best investment of them all. Really, it's been pretty sweet. So it's not obviously Bitcoin. I suppose you can say, oh, what? Outperformed by Meta? Well, yeah, it was outperformed by Meta. But look at the size of the correction on Meta. Holy So, I always try and make the case that when people complain about crypto when it goes up or down, and they think it's an exclusive crypto thing, it's not. It's really not. That is the nature of most markets, so it has been for a little while now. Things are crazy out there. So crypto is not the only thing you can trade. Nor should it be. Right, so let's get our head screwed back on. So we have been spoiled. That's basically what I was saying. It's been okay. Let's face it. It's been okay. Most people who bought Bitcoin this year are now in profit. Let's put it like that. That's true. That's almost absolutely true. Someone might have bought the peak around here and they're down 3%. Hey. That's nothing, mate. That is nothing. So most people who bought Bitcoin this year are in profit. Excellent job. Well done. Brilliant. Relatively decent play that there. If we're looking at this on the daily, we're still fighting the old Bollinger Band. So simple Bollinger Band strategy and the 21 exponential effectively being the same thing for me. We were supported yesterday. We're continuing to be supported today. What we'd be looking for at this point now is going to be a 4-hourly Itchy Cloud conversion baseline cross pump signal. We've got that, so that has now been generated. That's what the thing we were talking about yesterday. That's what we were hoping for. We can now see that that's confirmed. So that should take us back up to $44,000. That's where we're heading towards. 44,115. Based upon this one signal and the fact that we're holding above the Bollinger Bands, and actually momentum is good. So Bitcoin looks good to retest its most recent local highs, and closure above here will take us towards, if not up to, $48,000, where I would be very cautious and think about limiting positions. Now, who else should we think about? So we'll think about Ethereum. So Ethereum is okay. It's come down to a 4-hourly golden cross retest. It's also hit that horizontal area, that 2,144. That obviously goes back a long way. And so, look, if there was a place to enter into Ethereum and buy the dip, it would be here. And Ethereum being the heartbeat, effectively, of the altcoin market, you would like to see this move, and you would expect altcoins to move with it. Now, last night on the stream, I was talking about how the risk to reward at this exact level being last night, and I suppose just generally, is getting closer to 50-50. So, as much as money can be made in this period between now and Christmas and New Year, and it can also be lost, right? So, the risk to reward when it's close to 50-50 or at 50-50 to me, for the most part, is not an attractive place to enter into a position. Although it's not something that you could rule out, it just means that your risk management needs to be a bit tighter than usual, because the risk is the same as the reward. So an entry point down here, I suppose yesterday, into this 200 exponential at this area right now, down there, sorry, would have been decent risk to reward. And what you'd be looking for obviously would be a move back up to the consolidation and then a breakout, which should take us up to basically 2,400, which was our major resistance. That's where we should be going for Ethereum now if we get the breakout. Do we have a momentum breakout? We kind of do. I mean, it does exist, a breakout and a retest, so I would be looking for this to actually do that move. But at the same time, when we're talking about markets being, which they have been pretty decent for quite a while now, and they've run up, over a couple of 100% for the most part on altcoins. Just as you see golden crosses getting retested on 4 hourlies all the time, like they have been just yesterday for Ethereum as an example, the recent golden crosses on these dailies have not yet been retested. And if they ever do get retested, this is where the money gets made, all right? And if that was to happen to Ethereum, currently, if it happened today, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but if it were to happen today, that's a 15.5% move, 15.5% pullback. I mean, I've got some of these remnants of the stream last night. This is just DOT, some one of the last things we were looking at. So if DOT were to do that, pull down to that level, 25% pullback. What is this thing that we were looking at? ERG. Again, these are all bullish charts with bullish setups, but from what level is the most appropriate buyback? 200 exponential, golden cross retest, perfect opportunity to buy. Also, when this isn't so bad. This is quite a low cap coin, really. But let's have a look at DOT. Let's have a look at the volume on here. So we got major overheated on the daily money flow index. Basically, long story short, we were looking at so many altcoins, they all present the same thing. So my my question to myself really is, am I comfortable trading, short-term stuff? Like for instance yesterday's 4 hourly on Ethereum, and am I okay to expect further upside in the immediate sort of for this week? I'm willing to take the risk that that we will see further upside just based on today's closure for Bitcoin and the bounce that we've got at that area on Ethereum, for instance. But am I looking for massive moves, beyond maybe a breakout and a retest of the local highs and a $48,000 on Bitcoin? Am I looking for anything more than that currently before a bigger pullback? Not really. There'll be some coins that do that, I'm sure, but for the most part, not really looking for that. And if we do get that, that's fine. It's okay to miss a move. What's not okay is to lose out or go underwater, especially in the form of a crypto correction. You don't want to be caught on the wrong side. So risk to reward, like I say, so just on Ethereum, for instance, we're sitting at this level now. The return to the previous high, which is reasonable to expect, 8.7%. Retest of the 200 exponential, which still would maintain a bullish chart situation. That is a retest of something like that. Often will give you at least a V-shaped recovery, if not new local highs. That's a 15% pullback. So, look, we've been killing this market. We've been having a great time. We've been making consistent profit for months now. We've been winding it down over the last few weeks, maybe the last 4, maybe even 5 weeks. Been winding that down, not over trading, and just being more cautious. And look, if this pullback happens, excellent. It is a buy the dip to the max on that, just for the idea of either a dead cat bounce, V-shaped recovery, or extension of the rally, as you will see time and time again on pretty much every single chart you care to look at. Golden crosses get retested. That's where you get picked up from. That's where the fun happens, and that's what's happening here on Ethereum. Let's have a look at DOT, for instance. I've only just got these charts up. I mean, but you could look at this for yourself anyway. Golden cross, instant retest, continuation, a wick down, fair enough. Golden cross, retest, continuation, V-shaped recovery, new high highs, high lows. That's the 4 hourly. If we get that on the daily, that's where some really big gains are going to happen. But if we get it on the daily, it means 15, 20% drops on some altcoins we measured last night, even more, and they would still be bullish. So I just want to put it to you now. The risk to reward at this exact point right now is not great. It does look like, and I still favor continuation up to retest at least the local highs on stuff like Ethereum and what looks like Polkadot and obviously Bitcoin. And if we get another extension on that rally, excellent. Well done to those who played it. Like I say, the risk to reward is 50-50. It's a coin toss. It's a roll of the dice, whether you'll be successful or unsuccessful. At this exact moment in the market, you know, the moves both up and down are large. But reining it in, right? Not being Captain FOMO Noob Master and being Captain Reality. December's, for America at least, is a profit-taking month, tax-wise, right? And we have seen alt seasons, take place in January. We've also seen giant corrections take place in January. It's not for me to say exactly what's going on in January, but if we were to pull back to the tune of 20% across the board for altcoins, and Bitcoin maybe pull back into the $38,000 zone, which is all the way down here, this $32,000 zone, which is basically a 25% move. That'll be a golden cross retest as well. You might even just see a pullback to 38,000, which again is a horizontal area of significance. That's going to have an effect on the market. And we can buy these dips, so you can at least trade these dips. I'm willing to wait. Now, just for clarity, I have not sold everything. I am still in some trades, some clinging on to some degree of success, some not quite. But I've made it very clear that I'm taking profit and have been taking profit for months. And I'm happy to keep that tether in case we get the larger dump. Because either way, I would expect higher highs on all these altcoins at some point. But do they happen immediately, or do they come in the form of a giant dip? And if they do come in the form of a giant dip, those gains will be more significant for me. If you get a move up to here, we've said already 7%. If you start moving up into the 3,000s, excellent. If we move down to this level before we do that, obviously the gains are going to be much, much bigger and much greater. But you should trade the way you want to trade. I hodl. I've got plenty of hodl bag. They're all locked away, staking. That's fine. That's a different strategy altogether. But for me, just wanted to, have some money. Basically, this is what I do for a living. I kind of need to protect my gains as well as look to make new ones. And this is my plan. Even though I'm looking for a breakout in the short term, and it might continue on even further, that's fine. I still think being patient and waiting for a better opportunity in the form of a dump down to these levels would be that's my preference. Anyway, I've reiterated long enough. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm saying this is my preferred setup. And especially, I'm not struggling for money. I'm not struggling for gains. It's been so good recently that I just want to keep a lot of that as profit and not keep pumping my profit back into new trades, forcing trades left, right, and centre. Just want to, look after what I've done here. It's still very early on in the bull market, and we've not consolidated really. This year, not properly. We've not had a deeper, more drawn-out consolidation across the board for Bitcoin, and obviously altcoins will follow that. Let's just chill. I am chilling, for instance. I'm going to enjoy Christmas. I do not want to have, desperate trades running over Christmas. I'm supposed to be enjoying myself. Nothing worse than a depressed dad staring at his phone on Christmas Day. Absolutely not. Right, so I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.